welcome back to the Citytilidie channel. We're all staying safe and well on our little special, a three-part special on a guy who's left us, yes, as the start of the 23-24 season. We're going to have a look at RIYAD MAHREZ's 5 seasons with City, so we're going to have a look at that. Please enjoy and please share your memories of RIYAD as well if you can. If you are new to the channel, please push that subscribe button, push the bell notifications. Everything City, past, present and forever, of course, or as ever long as I'm here to keep going and keep doing it for you. So spread the word if you can, guys. And if you are pressing buttons, you can press that little like button. If you like MAHREZ, give that like button a smash. If you like my feeble efforts to inform and entertain, give it a little smash as well. Right, RIYAD MAHREZ, yes, he was born in Sarcelles, France, 21st of February 1991, to an Algerian father and a mother of Algerian and Moroccan descent. MAHREZ's father had played football in Algeria. When MAHREZ was 15, he sadly passed away with a heart attack. He reflected on that at the time and said, "I don't know if I started to be more serious about football, but after the death of my dad, things started to go for me. Maybe in my head I wanted it a little bit more." MAHREZ began his career as a youth player for French club AAS Sarcelles and had a 2-month trial at Scottish club St Mirren, but left due to the cold weather. Yes, gloves, anyone? We know, we used to love to wear the gloves even when it was fairly warm out, wasn't it? But there you go, I can't blame him, I'm a bit nesh myself. That's the only reason I played in goal, because I could wear gloves. He turned professional in 2009 with Quimper, where he played for only 1 season before moving to Le Havre, spending a total of 3 years with them, turning down offers from leading French teams such as PSG and Marseille to join them. In January 2014, MAHREZ signed for English side Leicester City for £450,000. MAHREZ apparently had never heard of Leicester, whom he initially presumed to be a rugby club. Easy mistake to make. I mean, there's only one City, let's be honest about it. In the 2015-16 season, he was the Algerian Footballer of the Year, the PFA Players Player of the Year, was a member of the Premier League PFA Team of the Year. And of course, he helped 5,000 to 1 pre-season outsiders Leicester City win the Premier League. I can't believe they were 5,000 to 1. They don't do them sort of odds. Anyway, Leicester beat a title-chasing City on the way to that title at the Etihad 3-1. MAHREZ had a key influence on that game if you were there that day. And Leicester never really looked back after that victory over City. He signed a new 4-year contract with Leicester in August 2016. And at the end of 2016-17, MAHREZ announced that he wished to leave the club. Perhaps it had been a hard year and the cold had got to him, but he managed to battle on a little bit longer. In January 2018, he again asked for a transfer. After an initial move to City fell through, MAHREZ stopped attending training to force a move. On the 10th of July 2018, City confirmed the signing of MAHREZ on a 5-year contract. A transfer fee of £60 million made MAHREZ the most expensive. It was 450 grand he cost Leicester. A transfer of £60 million made MAHREZ the most expensive African footballer and also our most expensive signing at that day. And it was a record transfer fee received by Leicester City as well. He took the number 26 shirt. This was also his number at Leicester City. So let's look at his 5 seasons with the Sky Blues. Let's start at the beginning, 2018-2019. He stated he wanted to win the Champions League with City. Well, he did eventually, then he pissed off, didn't he? But he achieved what he said he wanted to do anyway. He said on signing, "I really like the atmosphere at the Etihad, and every time I played there, the fans are great, and I can't wait to get started." I liked him already. So they always say the right things, don't they? No surprise. In pre-season, he made his first appearance in Sky Blue in Chicago in a 1-0 loss to Borussia Dortmund on the 21st of July in the International Champions Cup. He played as City defeated Chelsea 2-0 to win the 2018 FA Community Shield at Wembley Stadium. We used to win it in those days. A week later, he got his league debut in a 2-0 win over Arsenal. He got his first and second goals for City on the 22nd of September 2018, coming on as a substitute in the 61st minute for Aguero. He scored a brace against Cardiff City, and he followed up with another as City began their defence of the Carabao Cup in a 3-0 away win at Oxford on the 25th of September. On the 7th of October, we're going to have to talk about it, aren't we? We'll talk about the goal he should have had at Anfield. With the game approaching the last 5 minutes, City were awarded a penalty, and despite Gabby being keen to take it. MAHREZ took responsibility and literally skied it. I must admit, it did take a while for us fans to forgive that one. We all know how rare wins at Anfield always were and are. So, yeah, it did take a little while. It took me a while to forgive him, that's for sure. He got one on the 20th of October in a comfortable home win over Burnley, 5-0. And on the 29th of October, he scored a Wembley goal, yes, at Spurs when they were played there. What would be the only goal of the game. Again, we used to beat Spurs away in those days as well. In a 1-0 win, he dedicated the goal to, pronounce this correctly, Vichai Srivadhanath Prabha, the former owner of his previous club Leicester City, who had sadly died just 2 days earlier in that tragic helicopter crash. He got his first Champions League goal on the 7th of November in a 6-0 win over Shakhtar Donetsk. He added the second on the 4th of December away at Watford. We would eventually win that one 2-1. RIYAD made his FA Cup debut and scored at the Etihad in a 7-0 win in the third round against Rotherham United. Remember them? I think Colin Bell does. And then 3 days later, another in a 9-0 win in the Carabao Cup at the Etihad in the first leg of the semi-final against Burton Albion. On the 24th of February 2019, MAHREZ won his first major pot with us by winning the Carabao Cup against Chelsea. He also actually received the Best Player of the Carabao Cup award from the Carabao sponsors, although he didn't actually participate in the final itself, spending the game on the bench. He was our match winner with only goal on the 2nd of March in a 1-0 win at Bournemouth. He'd replaced KDB at half-time. And despite him being in and out for the rest of the season, he started in the crucial final game of the season and scored a great free kick in our 4-1 win at Brighton to clinch the title, becoming the second African player to win the title with 2 different clubs after Kolo Toure. In the sun at the Etihad that day, I remember that on the big screens. It certainly stopped any nerves when that goal went in, and it sort of started all our celebrations, which will last long into the night, because I think the City came back on the same. I think they got a plane back, so we're all encouraged to hang around and welcome the champions back. So that was a long night. I think they just arrived and I had to rush off for my tram, if I remember rightly. If that was the right game, I think it was. And to complete a unique domestic treble and a quadruple, of course, the Formidables, he started in the record-equalling 6-0 win over Watford in the FA Cup final. His stats for that debut season: Premier League, 14 appearances, 13 as substitute with 6 goals. And in the Cups, 14 appearances, 3 as substitute and 5 goals. And despite a lack of game time, he said at the time he knew his first season would be difficult and he had come to a stable team with good players, but he trusted his potential. What did the esteemed publication King of the Kippax make of his debut season? Well, what we'll do, we'll have a look. We'll have a look at that. We'll go over to King of the Kippax 261, issue 261 from August 2019, and John Burfield's Class of 2018-19 feature. So we'll see what, to sum up this part 1, King of the Kippax as a typical fan, or, you know, I agree with a lot of what's in here, what a typical sort of fan's point of view was. MAHREZ, you'd be hard pushed to describe our record signing's first season as a roaring success. There were moments, of course, the most notably away at Brighton on the final day, but there was also much frustration in oceans of space and part of a counter-attacking team at Leicester. MAHREZ had thrived, but with opposition defenders in somewhat closer proximity. At City, his lack of change of gear meant that the endless step-overs ultimately slowed moves down, led only to Navas-esque crosses into the shins of fullbacks he faced. And with time as precious a commodity as space, so his shots, when cutting into his favoured left foot, inevitably ended up being scuffed away. With the exception of an away winner at Tottenham, were all against B and C list opposition, and the least said about the defensive aspects of his game, the better. A good job that Martin Petrov was retired, because if him and RIYAD had ever had to tackle each other in training, the session would still have been running at 3 o'clock in the morning. And casting an eye back down my own personal memory lane, there was always one player in every local league team who clearly didn't fancy it, and who would strategically position himself to make it look like he was trying to go in for a tackle, when in fact the opposite was true. This is, of course, all just subjective opinion on my part. My apologies to our Algerian winger if I've done him any disservice. The good news, however, is that talent is unquestionably there and frequently evidenced by the sublime first touch the player exhibits when controlling those long diagonal passes from Laporte. He would carry on doing those until he left us, of course. Only Bernardo Silva does it better. Well, probably not by the end of it. As we all know, it often takes players a full season to adjust to Pep's requirements, and hopefully we'll see a more robust and productive Riyad Mahrez in a City shirt next season. John Burfield's rating for Riyad Mahrez for this debut season, 6 out of 10, so my thanks to him. Of course, Dave and Sue Wallace for the King of the Kippax. So there you go, that's summing up of season 1. We've got another 4 to get through. So join me in part 2 as we continue our look at Mahrez's City career from 2018 to 2023, and we'll start off with the next season, won't we? We'll start off with the 2019-2020 season. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know any memories you've got. Anybody, great to hear from you. Until the next time, just one thing, don't I? Please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City.